Meantime, Alphabet's the other Mag 7 name under some pressure today. The company reports a revenue miss, but more importantly says CapEx spending will be more than the street was expecting. Let's talk about that and Apple this morning as well. Barton Crockett's with us, Roseblatt Securities senior analyst, has a hold on Alphabet, raised his target to 205 from 193, a buy on Apple with the 263 target. Barton, good to see you.
Morning.
Is the CapEx number at Alphabet the story?
It's clearly a key part of it. I mean, I think it's no secret, obviously, that the hyperscalers are growing spending 40, 50, 60% this year. And that's great for NVIDIA, great for the other equipment suppliers. I think for the services companies, what you need to see is that investment is paying off, that you're getting a return on that. We're seeing that in spades with Meta. With Google, it is less clear because, the acceleration in the core business is not, been what we've seen at Meta. And then there's this cloud of uncertainty. Does AI create the opportunity over time for there to be, more competition in search? You compound that with the antitrust, risk to distribution. And I think there's some longer term concerns that put a capper on the multiple people want to pay for Google today.
Right. But isn't the notion that search kind of keeps chugging along was one of the positives from last night?
Search was certainly a positive from last night. And I'm talking more, bigger picture. I mean, the investment in AI is making, Google's search better. It's making, Meta's advertising better. But it's also enabling people like Perplexity to come in with a search, solution that is, uniquely competitive with, Google. And we haven't really seen that before. DuckDuckGo was not really competitive. So, I think that it's a new world and there's concerns. That was not front and center last night.
How about Apple? How are you sort of calculating or looking at political risk and some of the collateral damage that some of these corporates might absorb?
Well, look, I mean, this is very surprising. I mean, I think we went into this year thinking that it should be like it was last time, where Apple was carved out from the trade wars, and the Trump tariffs. And that's not happening, and China's responding. So this is right now different than we expected. We do, see that this is a volatile situation. So I'm hesitant to really think it makes sense to jump on any one news point today because, under the Trump administration, it could be a very different news point tomorrow. And obviously no one is really an expert in kind of China antitrust law, but it does feel like this is very much tied in with the trade process. I mean, why are Google and Apple coming up now and they didn't come up, at this level a couple of months ago? And it seems to be the tariffs, which suggests that there's a lot of room for the U.S. and China and Trump and China to figure something out, that sets us to the side, because nobody benefits if there's a full-out trade war. And I think they both understand that.
I want to get back to Alphabet. I mean, cloud obviously was up 30%, but the growth rate decelerated. Maybe another reason why there's a bit more weakness in the stock price, not along with that CapEx guide. But they talk about being supply constrained. I mean, again, you noted this. NVIDIA shares are up, Barton. There's no, are your expectations that they're going to continue to decelerate in cloud?
No, I'm not. I mean, I do think that there's a lot of noise in that cloud number. I think cloud is a source of strength for Alphabet, Google right now. Our survey work would say that, IT managers at large enterprises, think if anything, Google is the best position of the major cloud providers, ahead of Microsoft, ahead of Amazon Web Services. So I'm not worried about that. I do think that was more noise than substance, that number last night.
So what are you worried about then?
Well, I think that, like I talked about, I think that there is concern about the long-term prospects in search. And I think that puts a capper on the multiple people want to pay for Alphabet. My rating is neutral. My price target's up a little bit, so I'm not negative, but I'm not going to be overexposed to Apple, when we're going through this process of determining what the antitrust outcomes will be and what's going to happen in search.
Barton, it's a lot to digest. We'll keep close. Barton Crockett, appreciate it. Over at Roseblatt.